Have you ever spent hours studying only to realize you barely remember anything the next day? You're not alone. I used to do the exact same thing, poring over notes, highlighting every line, thinking I was studying smart, but somehow it just didn't stick. And the worst part? You feel frustrated, exhausted, and sometimes even hopeless. So the question is, what if the reason you're not learning efficiently isn't how much time you spend, but the one critical mistake almost every student makes? Today, we're going to uncover that mistake and, more importantly, how to fix it.
By the end of this video, you'll learn the single biggest error that's silently sabotaging your study sessions, practical, easy-to-apply techniques that actually improve retention, how to make studying less stressful, more productive, and even enjoyable. And I promise, you won't need to study for extra hours or buy expensive tools, just a smarter approach.
The biggest mistake most students make is passive studying. By passive, I mean reading your notes, highlighting, or just watching videos without engaging your brain. It feels productive, but here's the problem. Your brain isn't being challenged, so it doesn't store the information effectively.
Solution: active recall. Instead of rereading, try to recall what you learned without looking at your notes. Ask yourself questions. What was the main point? Explain it in my own words. I used to highlight entire chapters and feel proud, but once I switched to active recall, I noticed I remembered things 3 times better. Even top students in Japan and the US swear by this method. It's simple, but surprisingly effective.
Another mistake is cramming everything in one session. Cramming might work for a short-term test, but long-term retention? Almost zero.
Solution: spaced repetition. This means reviewing material at increasing intervals. For example, first after 1 day, then 3 days, then a week. Think of it like watering a plant. Small, consistent efforts over time make it grow stronger. I remember preparing for my final exams. When I spread my review sessions, I was calm, confident, and my recall improved dramatically. Apps like Anki or even a simple calendar can help you plan this easily.
Sometimes you feel like you're studying, but you're actually not learning. Flipping through notes, underlining sentences, or listening to lectures on repeat gives a sense of progress, but the knowledge doesn't stick. Solution: test yourself regularly. After each study session, write a short quiz for yourself or explain the topic to someone else. If you can teach it, you've truly learned it. I often test myself after reading a chapter. Sometimes I fail, but that failure is actually good. It highlights gaps in knowledge that passive reading can't reveal. Another silent killer is your environment. Studying in a noisy room, on your bed, or with constant phone distractions can dramatically reduce efficiency. Even 5 minutes of distraction can cost you 20 to 30 minutes of effective focus. Solution: optimize your study space. Use a clean, quiet desk. Keep your phone in another room or on Do Not Disturb. Try the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes of focused study, 5-minute break. I've personally found that even small changes like a tidy desk and a dedicated notebook make study sessions feel easier and more productive. Many students rely on rote memorization, trying to remember facts word for word. The problem? When you don't understand the concept, you forget it as soon as the exam is over.
Solution: focus on understanding first. Ask why and how questions. Connect new information to things you already know. For example, instead of memorizing formulas, understand why they work. This method is what top universities emphasize. Harvard and MIT students often prioritize understanding over memorization, and their results speak for themselves.
Studying for hours at a stretch can be exhausting and ineffective. It's easy to lose focus, get overwhelmed, and convince yourself, I studied enough, even if you didn't retain anything.
Solution: break study sessions into micro goals.
Decide what you want to accomplish in 30 to 50 minutes. Maybe it's understanding a concept, solving 5 problems, or summarizing a chapter. I used to push through 4-hour sessions, barely retaining a fraction. Once I switched to micro goals, I finished tasks faster and remembered more.
Let me share a quick story. One of my friends was failing physics. He would study 6 to 7 hours daily, but kept scoring low. Why? Passive reading, cramming, and distractions. Once he switched to active recall, spaced repetition, and proper focus, his grades jumped in just 1 semester. It shows that small, smart changes beat long, inefficient hours.
Now, a few things to watch out for. Don't just memorize without understanding. You'll forget quickly. Avoid studying when extremely tired. Your brain won't absorb efficiently. Spaced repetition only works if you actually review at the scheduled times. Skipping defeats the purpose. And remember, tools are helpful, but they don't replace effort. You can't just download an app and expect magic.
So, let's recap. Stop passive studying. Use active recall. Avoid cramming. Practice spaced repetition. Test yourself to avoid the illusion of learning. Create a distraction-free, optimized study environment. Focus on understanding rather than memorization. Break sessions into micro goals for efficiency. If you implement even a few of these strategies, you'll notice a dramatic difference in retention, focus, and confidence. So here's my challenge for you. Choose one method from today and try it in your next study session. Notice how it feels, what changes, and how much more you retain. If you want more practical study hacks, tips on productivity, and ways to study smarter, not harder, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Remember, mastering study habits isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. Start today, and you'll thank yourself tomorrow. Visual emphasis only. Stick figure smiling, hand raised with floating subscribe icon and light bulb above head. Calm, hopeful posture. Subtle motion lines.